Hello, everyone. This is Cheddar Slammer, and this is going to continue my Let's Play of King's Quest VI. However, this Let's Play is going to be different than my other Let's Plays. Yep, since I will be not actually playing the game, but reading you some stuff, and I will tell you why in a little bit. I just have to load my game up. Okay, first of all, this is called the... Okay, this is like the stopping part for most people in this game. I'll tell you why.
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
These cliffs, logic, there's this one, right, which is... This one can be easily solved by just figuring out what they want you to do. But the other ones cannot be. Because, yes, the people of this island have their own language. Yes, they do. So, I'm going to be reading to you from the guidebook, which most people don't end up getting from this game for some reason. You know, because you actually need the guidebook to get through these cliffs. So it's like, it's like a teaser technically, because you get to this point and then then you're like, oh, I can't get past this far because I don't have the guidebook. Anyway, so I'll just read these excerpts from this specific part of this thing. There's more stuff in this book. But I'll start with this. The Isle of the Sacred Mountain, on first impression, appears to be nothing but a great wall of cliffs rising to the sky, with no apparent means of scaling it. Well, I think that describes this part right here. The visitor is soon met, however, by a pair of greeters of the Winged One race. Well, we weren't greeted by anyone. I've been putting my own comments in because, it's just how I am. The Winged Ones are the inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. Towering to a height of 6 to 7 feet, the Winged Ones are by far the most impressive creatures I have ever seen. Each one of them, male and female alike, is surpassingly beautiful. Their bodies are muscled and athletic and gleaming with health. Although probably not as muscular as King Graham himself. I put that in. From their broad backs, mighty wings emerge like secondary limbs, strong and webbed and covered with large white feathers. And when they spread those massive wings, oh, it is as if the sun itself is eclipsed. Two of these creatures, the greeters, meet visitors at the base of the cliffs, and so I was met. Gently they took my arms and flew me upwards. Has there not been a man who had dreamed of flying? Are we all not Icarus in our own heart, our heart of hearts? Imagine then the thrill of flight and the glory of the beings who rule the very air around us. I just want to note here that prior going to this cliff area, Prince Alexander reads all this stuff in the bookshop at the Cosmos Realm. Okay? Because it's actually in the library. That's the only way I could possibly see him solving these, other than he knows all the answers to this, which is impossible. You'll see the later puzzles. Oh, by the way, I'll probably put the puzzles... I'll probably have a link from this video into the other... into the next one, just in case you don't want to bother listening to my boring, long speeches. Also, I have a cold, so it's going to sound weird. But as the old saw warms, beauty is only skin deep. I was flown to the Wiggenwood City, a strange and haunting place whose architecture combines the two overriding elements of this culture, aviation and the classical. The city seems built to exclude those poor creatures whose lot is to crawl like insects upon the ground, for each edifice towers into the sky with no connection to the next or to the ground itself save by flight. Yeah, wow, this is wordy. Excuse me there. Thus, completely dependent on the greeters to travel about the city or even leave, the visitor is humbled and loath to do much exploration. This appeared to be rather the intention, but the culture of the Winged Ones is a primitive one. On the Isle of Wonder, I always felt welcome, despite the sometimes gruff nature of the inhabitants. That's saying modestly. They had a certain simplicity and honesty about them. By contrast, although my reception with the Winged Ones was on the surface extremely polite, the formal words of welcome did not ring true. I sensed in the eyes of that beauteous race a disdain of common humanity, a haughtiness that made them suddenly lose some of their golden perfection in the eyes of the humbled observer. So basically, they're like, "You're humans. You don't have wings on your back. You're not as sexy as us." And yeah, basically. Despite this innate sense of superiority, the Winged Ones are valuable members of the kingdom and provide many important skills. Incredibly intelligent, the Winged Ones are master uh, logicians. It's like logic. I don't know. I don't even know if that's actually a real word. And mathematicians, precise architects, and planners. They disdain magic and the daintier arts, being far too logical for such goings on. Even the palace of the Winged One city has a sparsensis, a sense of functionality that denotes their contempt for artistic ornamentation. Whew! I'm having trouble reading this a little bit. Winged One's culture is an old one. They make frequent references to the Ancient Ones, their forefathers, whose ruins and great works still abound on the island. The island of the Sacred Mountain is ruled by a lord and lady who exist as monarchs on their own island but owe allegiance to the common crown. The name of the island derives from a lone peak which soars into the clouds beyond the city. There in a cave dwells the sacred oracle, the philosophical head of the community. It is said that the oracle is centuries old, ultimately wise, and could read the future. Ooh, I want to meet this woman. And hopefully she's sexy. Probably not, though. She is consulted. That was all me, by the way. She was consulted by the Lord and Lady on every facet of the city's life, and I think I said that right, and even advises the king and queen. I, of course, did not meet the oracle, and even most Winged One citizens regard her as almost a mythical being. The greatest honor any Winged One citizen might hope for in his or her life is to be granted a meeting with the oracle, for her cave is a place reserved for only the most worthy souls. Like many lofty ambitions, most of the Winged Ones never achieve this end. I found myself fascinated by the Ancient Ones, for it was the only deep history apparent in the kingdom. From what I managed to learn from the close-mouthed Winged Ones themselves, and from the more readily available information to be found in the writings and from the scholars on the Isle of the Crown, I put together the following picture of this bygone race. I included among these records of the kingdom, for they are much of presence in the land as the current habit. So basically, whoever wrote this really lengthy thing, oh my, okay, there's more here than I thought there was. That's okay. I'll read some more. I think I can even go on because, yeah, I could make a longer video, a little bit longer video. It's almost that time. Yeah. So I'll just finish this one page, and then the next video might have to be another whole page of me reading, which I didn't really want to do, but, oh wait. I don't actually have to read that. Yeah, I'll read this. So this next part is called The Ancient Ones. The Ancient Ones inhabited the Isle of the Sacred Mountain perhaps as many as 1,000 years ago. At the time, it is likely that there was no kingdom, and that the Ancient Ones existed alone in the sea, since no since no similarly aged records exist on the other islands. The Ancient Ones had an advanced, mysterious culture. Their writings have been discovered on ancient tablets and scrolls buried beneath the current Winged One city, and in the ancient catacombs on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. It is commonly believed that they possess knowledge and mechanical acuity far surpassing anything that exists today. This belief is based on few remaining artifacts such as their mysterious labyrinth, catacombs, and their writings on the island's cliffs. The artifacts of the Ancient Ones are fiercely guarded by the Winged Ones, and are studied by scholars, the race who spend their whole lives trying to unravel their mysteries. What is known about them is derived from these delicate and treasured written records. The Ancient Ones were believers in the power of language. They were fond of saying, "A master of languages will soar," which is, oddly enough,
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
actually, I don't think this is that puzzle. Nope. Well, we'll see that puzzle's like, whatever, there's 5 puzzles going up the cliffs, and yeah, that's one of them. This presumptively refers to intellectual heights rather than physical ones, but who can say? It is also known that they were great lovers of symbols and had complex theology which seemed to worship all things aerial, though only fragments of their belief system are understood today. The Ancient Ones gave meaning to every creature, every color, every element, and mineral. In addition, they studied their emotional states of being. Every emotion, like every creature, color, and element, ranked high or low on their theological scale, the lowest being base or primitive, the highest being pure. At the top of this scale were the sacred 4: the emotion tranquility, the color azure, the creature caterpillar, and the element air. The color azure and the element air are obvious allusions to the sky. Similar tranquility is reminiscent of the heavens above. The caterpillar is the surprise. In their reasoning, however, it makes perfect sense. After all, there are birds aplenty in the skies, but what glory is to fly when one is born with wings? It is not more glorious still to be born to crawl upon the ground and build one's own wings. It is a matter of much debate whether or not the Ancient Ones themselves possess the power of flight. Despite the theology, the remains of the Ancient Ones do not bear the wings that distinguish the Isle of the Sacred Mountain's current inhabitants. The Winged Ones firmly believe that the Ancient Ones flew without wings, thus providing themselves superior even to the Winged Ones themselves. Some scholars on the Island of the Crown, however, believe that the Ancient Ones could not fly, and that their obsessive interest in flight and their secret knowledge enabled them to create a winged race, the descendants of whom are the Winged Ones. But such things we'll never know for certain, for true understanding was buried along with the last of the long-dead race. I spent some time studying the language and culture of the Ancient Ones, and in their interest in antiquity I set forth here as much as is understood of their works. And I will, once I get to that specific part, I will do that part. Because, yeah, that's involved. And this is the area called the Logi Cliff, so I don't... You know what? I'm going to put that all on this video. Yep. Because it's kind of short. One of the most intriguing artifacts left by the Ancient Ones are the Logi Cliffs. The cliffs are so named from their series of riddles written on the face of the cliffs, leading from the beach of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain to the Winged One city. Chiseled painstakingly into solid rock, the viewer must question what purpose the words serve. From the ancient scroll that references the cliffs, it can be determined that the riddles on the cliff were part of the elaborate mechanism designed to protect those who dwelt at the top of the cliffs from undesirables that might arrive from the sea below. Excuse me, yawning. The mechanism may have served as some sort of calling device, designed to alert those at the top of the cliffs that a brother required admittance, or perhaps led to secret chambers within the rock itself. Whatever the cliff's purpose was, it was obviously built to admit only those indoctrinated into the secrets of the Ancient One's culture, and for that reason is, alas, as yet unsolved by those who live today. But will Prince Alexander be the ones to solve it? Probably. out of um out of game context, I have no idea how. Like he's got a limited time window, and I don't know how he learned all this unless he. I mean, some people told me he learned it before he got here, but yeah. But then why did he ask the book owner about all the places if he knew all about them? Anyway, plot holes. Anyway. The following translations from the Cliffs of Logic scroll may help the reader understand the mysteries that surround this artifact. The first challenge. Only those of pure heart will be able to rise the Cliffs of Logic. Well, that's this one. And, I'll just read these other two. The third challenge. The Stones of Stealth are associated with this riddle. 4 men standing in a row. Third from the left and down you go. The rest in order move you on the youngest, oldest, and second son. I actually know that, but you can't get it with what they give you, and something popped up, and hopefully that didn't. It doesn't matter, I'm just reading. That was my Norton whatever thing. Anyway, if you saw, I don't know if that actually popped up in the video. And the fifth challenge, only those of the highest order may ascend the Cliffs of Logic. And that is the end of this video. So, that was Cheddar Slammer. Also, before I go, I think I said this, but there will be a link, so if you don't feel like hearing me read, you could just move on to the next one. I just thought that was cool to read that, because I don't think most people read that. Anyway, so, I will end my video today, and, end my video, and I will see you guys, next time. Cheddar Slammer here, and goodbye.